Another bright, sunny day here in Arizona. A little on the cool side, though, relatively speaking, but still beautiful baseball weather here at Maryvale Baseball Park, west side of Phoenix, as the Milwaukee Brewers take on the Los Angeles. Chase Anderson here goes.
About him coming up to the big club a couple years ago. We knew he could play well in the field. He's done that. And we're watching him really grow as a hitter, watching him grow as a total player.
Yeah, Orlando Arcia coming up with a lot of hype, and it's not often that a player 22 years old when he came up exceeds expectations. That's how good this guy is. That's how good this guy can be. He really developed as a hitter as the season went on. I think the Brewers would like to see a little bit more consistency at the plate. I mean, the numbers as they stood were pretty good for the season, but kind of leveled out, from game one to the end of the season. I think that's what you're looking for. But again, he's 23 years old. He's got all the ability in the world. He led the National League in putouts last year. I think his enthusiasm is one of the reasons why. I mean, here's a shortstop that ends up wanting to catch balls in foul territory at first.
If it's in the yard, he wants it. Opening day starter Chase Anderson on the mound here today as the Brewers match up with the Los Angeles Dodgers on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
This
Time of year out here, or so they tell us. So nice day for baseball as we get ready to roll. Chase Anderson, the Brewers' opening day starter a week from Thursday in San Diego, gets the call here this afternoon for the Brew Crew. Dodgers in a split squad mode here today with Dave Roberts back at Camelback Ranch. Bob Darren, the bench coach, running things here. And here is the batting order presented by Potawatomi. Bring your night to life. Chase Utley, Jock Peterson, and Matt Kemp at the top. Yasmani Grandal will hit cleanup for the Dodgers. Alex Verdugo, a very promising prospect, is followed by Jake Peter, the third baseman. Donovan Solano, Edwin Rios, and Manny Banuelos, today's starter for the Dodgers. And that's the lineup. Rock that'll be facing Chase Anderson.
Well, Chase, one more start after today in spring training before the opener in San Diego. That's on Thursday, coming up next Thursday. And Chase, you can see his year last year, 12-4, 274 the earned run average. Outstanding season for Chase, making start number 4 down here in spring training. Check out the defense behind Anderson here today. You got Phillips, Broxton, and Yelich in the outfield. Travis Shaw gets the start at third. Arcia Sogard up the middle. Ryan Braun, and still another start at first base. And Manny Pena hanging the signs for Anderson today.
And with that, we are about set to go. The Brew Crew and the Los Angeles Dodgers. These teams hooked up this past Monday at Camelback Ranch, a game where the Brewers rallied to win. They have, for the record, won 15 times here in the Cactus League as we hit the home stretch. As before you know it, the regular season will be upon us. The veteran Chase Utley leading things off, and Anderson starts it with a fastball, and we are underway. With a split squad day for the Dodgers, you will see some maybe less familiar names in the lineup, but Chase Utley very much a familiar face, and he gets hit by the game's second pitch. Utley is on here to begin the afternoon at Maryvale.
Yeah, Utley always crowding home plate. He gets hit a lot. I figure Anderson is going to have some success today. He got his start, one more. That's going to come the next Saturday, and then the opener a week from next Thursday. So this is about the time when you figure these guys are going to start wanting to fine-tune their pitches and start getting outs.
We are working, by the way. We have some audio issues going on right now, so we apologize for that. But the video's good. That's what you need here as Jock Peterson will settle in. And Anderson works him inside a ball. Peterson, a few years ago, it looked like he was going to be the next big thing. He had a great start. Look here in 2015, made the All-Star team, but it has been some tough sledding since. One of those position battles trying to get into that outfield rotation for the Dodgers.
And big home run numbers a couple of years ago. Just couldn't put it together last year. An offense that is a pretty good one. It's Los Angeles Dodger team.
Brewers with an interesting looking shift going on right now as Travis Shaw, the third baseman, between the bags of first and second as Peterson a swing at a foul tip. 2-1 the count.
And Brewers banking that Peterson's not going to bunt for a base hit. I doubt that that's even in his mind at this point, but it's available to him. Incredible shifts, right? I mean, every team does it.
A lot of creativity going on throughout baseball. Peterson looks inside, 3 balls, 1 strike to today's center fielder for the Dodgers, a team that has been in the postseason each of the last 5 years. They took the World Series to a 7th game with the Astros. Like everything was lining up for them. They had Yu Darvish on the mound, playing at Dodger Stadium, and the Astros jumped on him and hoisted the trophy. It was a terrific World Series, though. Some wild games. Game 2 and Game 5 especially, there were Dodger losses for 13-12. Crazy game.
Yeah, the worst of the games was Game 7, right?
Right.
Kind of going away for the Astros, but, boy, the last 2 World Series for Major League Baseball doesn't get much better than that.
The Cubs-Indians series, the Dodgers-Astros, great showcases for the game as Peterson sends one to center field, well struck, and watching him off the wall. Utley will go to third, and it's a double for Peterson, who just missed, giving the Dodgers a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, I thought that might have hit the top of the wall and hit the batter's eye, which would be a home run. But no replay in spring training. Second base umpire out there, Todd Tishner, giving the safe side, saying the ball's in the ballpark. But Peterson gives this one a ride ahead to count 3-1, or 3-2, I should say. Got a fastball, nearly hit it out of here. And he very well may have.
That may not be around long, and there's a fly ball hit out into right center field, and that'll be Christian Yelich near the track, and that's plenty deep enough to get the Dodgers on the board. Sacrifice fly for Kemp as Peterson moves to third, 1-0 Los Angeles.
And when Chase Anderson has his A game going, a lot of ground balls. He's been able to get the ball up a little bit. Peterson lifted one, so did Kemp.
Hope to catch up with Chase when his day on the mound is done here this afternoon. Here's the catcher, Yasmani Grandal. Strike from Anderson. One of the things that fans noticed last year with Chase, he had a little extra hop on his fastball, very dedicated workout program in the off season. More velocity turned into just a terrific year for Chase.
Really had all of his pitches working for him very well. You know, the four-seamer, the two-seamer will cut it. The curveball, and always has that very good changeup to work with. But when he has his really good games, the curveball is a big part of it. He just missed with one right there.
Ball a strike to Grandal. Jock Peterson, the runner at third, just getting underway here at Maryvale Baseball Park. Brewers getting a win over the Colorado Rockies yesterday, 4-3. Zach Davies, who will start the home opener on April 2nd against the St. Louis Cardinals. Davies worked 3 1/3 yesterday, gave up 4 hits and a run. That's a pretty decent work here, especially in the last week from several of their starters or those who are contending to get into the rotation. Junior Guerra will go Tuesday for the Brew Crew against the Rockies. He pitched pretty well, had a rocky start on Monday against the Dodgers at Camelback Ranch, and then settled in and threw the ball well. It was a little chopper and a chance for Braun. He continues to handle that position pretty well. They'll trade the out for the run as Peterson is in, out number 2 here in the first.
Yeah, you can see Braun talking with Sogard, asking him probably, is that one I should go after? And anything a first baseman can get to or thinks he can get to, he's got to go after. He's got to count on the pitcher being there. It's a learning process for Braun, who's handled it pretty well.
And he is in a groove at the plate. And there today to get some more work over at first. Here is Alex Verdugo, one of their top prospects in this Dodgers organization, right fielder here today. You can see what he did last year in his brief appearances with the Dodgers, but he has put together a batting average of .367 here in the spring. Was someone that was thought to be a pitching prospect coming out of high school. Dodgers like the bat. Is showing dry here in the spring. Ball 2 strikes to Verdugo. Ball club that figures very much to be in the thick of it all in search of their first World Series championship since 1988. But team that appears to be loaded once again in the National League West.
They figure they're going to be odds-on favorite to win that. Very disappointed didn't win the World Series last year. I think everybody thought they had what it took to win it all. I think Craig Counsell would tell you enough for sure. And once you get the World Series,
Verdugo sends one to the gap in left center field. And catching up with it is Brett Phillips. That'll do it for the Dodgers. They pick up a couple of runs off Chase Anderson. Brewers coming up in the bottom half of the first.
We believe the best light beer to have
Might need an extra jacket here. Temperature in the mid-60s here this afternoon. Bottom of the first we go at Maryvale Baseball Park. Let's check out Craig Counsell's lineup for the Brew Crew, presented by Potawatomi. Bring your night to life. Christian Yelich, Keon Broxton, and Ryan Braun at the top. Travis Shaw hits cleanup, followed by Manny Pena and Brett Phillips. Orlando Arcia, Eric Sogard, and Chase Anderson rounding out the Brewers' batting order against Manny Banuelos for the Dodgers.
Still another left-handed pitcher the Brewers are facing. They have faced a ton of lefties so far down here in spring training. You see Banuelos' numbers down in AAA last year. He did have some big league time with the Braves. 7 games, 6 of them starts. That was back in 2015.
Matter of fact, that is his one big league win. It came against the Brewers at Miller Park in July of 15, as he starts Yelich with a strike. Banuelos was with the Angels organization last year. Now trying to get on the radar here with the Dodgers. Yelich sends one to center field. On the run is Jock Peterson, and the Brewers, just like that, are on the board. Christian Yelich over the wall in center.
Yeah, a guy that doesn't seem to bother against left-handed pitching, hangs right in there, knocks that one to deep center field. Check this out. Fastball right down the middle of the plate. Got a good piece of it and rode it out of here to center. Well, the Brewers within one. Look at that front shoulder, stays closed. Good swing on it, good finish, and up and out of here.
That's how you start the home half of the first. Keon Broxton, the hitter. It was interesting going back to Brewers on deck with Yelich, which, you know, he made his appearance. He and Lorenzo Cain. It was a matter of a couple of days after it was announced that they were going to become Brewers. And Yelich, a guy who can, at Marlins Park, could hit some home runs. There's a ground ball over to short, but Donovan Solano unable to grab. Broxton is on.
Well, going to give him a hit. Yeah, and Broxton runs very well, but that's certainly one that you would expect a Major League shortstop to be able to handle. Dodgers didn't bring too many of their starters. I think it was just Matt Kemp, the only starter that they brought over here to Maryvale. The Dodgers are in a split squad.
Yeah, most of their frontliners back at Camelback Ranch. Hey, Yelich was asked multiple times about going to player home games at Miller Park, and those power numbers could go up, but he's been pretty consistent, not really wanting to adjust his swing. He's a good on-base guy, and the home runs, the power could come. But you have Yelich and Cain on the top of your lineup. That's a pretty good combo.
Yeah, well, you don't have to adjust your swing. I mean, a lot of deep fly ball outs in Miami are going to be out of the ballpark at Miller Park.
Not to mention Maryvale Baseball Park. There's Ryan Braun. He is in a groove right now. This year, if it holds true to the way Ryan has handled spring training, it's without a doubt the home stretch for him in the number of plate appearances. This is his 23rd plate appearance. He has walked 4 times, 18 at-bats, a couple of home runs the other day, as he is locking into regular season mode. And Braun to left center field. That's toward the gap, and it's off the wall. Broxton will fly around third. Eddie Cedar waves him in, and this game is tied at 2 in the first.
Hey, you think they might consider putting Ryan Braun on ice? I mean, stick him in a freezer and thaw him out in San Diego, because he is seeing the baseball extremely well. Looked like a cutter or a slider that didn't do a whole lot. Braun, with the pitch down and in, golfs it out into left center field. Well, he wears out left-handed pitching, does he not?
He really does.
My goodness.
Keon Broxton coming around to score, and here is Travis Shaw. He's homered 4 times here in the Cactus League this year. Getting into his regular season groove. Not so much with the 4 home runs, but just feeling pretty good with where he is. His approach at the plate right now.
Yep, hitting over 300. He's driven in 9 runs. Awesome year last year. First year with the Brewers. Playing every day. Actually hit lefties pretty well.
Handled his position well over at third. A breakout year for Travis Shaw. This will be a productive out chance for Chase Utley. First out of the inning as Braun moves to third.
Yeah, why not?
Manny Banuelos, 27 years old. Originally signed with the Yankees back in 2008.
International free agent out of Monterrey, Mexico.
So the Dodgers will inch the infield in for Manny Pena. One of these storylines to watch with the Brewers. What do you do with runner at third and less than 2 men out? And a chance here for Manny Pena to deliver Ryan Braun. A lot going on here in this first inning. Dodgers with 2 in the top half. And the Brewers have matched it and still just 1 out. Manny Pena and Jet Bandy will be the Brewers catchers. That's the plan now as they head into the final week of spring training. Craig Counsell this morning telling reporters, and David Stearns the same a little later, that Stephen Vogt will begin the year on the disabled list. Been battling that shoulder issue, but someone they want to keep around, give him every chance to get healthy and get back. The talent, the clubhouse presence that he brings. Pena with a bouncer to Chase Utley. Looks Braun back, and there are 2 men out.
And it's kind of a shame with Vogt. He worked so hard on his throwing in the offseason. An extensive, pretty rigorous workout plan and that he went through to get his arm strength and improve his throwing. And lo and behold, down here in throwing drills for the catchers, strained his shoulder, ends up on the disabled list. Nice to have a guy like Bandy, though, waiting in the wings. Solid defensive catcher.
Here's Brett Phillips. Bandy doing some work here in the spring later in the week, hitting a home run. He and Pena split that time pretty much down the middle of the first month or so of the season last year. But Phillips trying to get something going here at the plate this last week of spring training. It's a bit of a difficult run. Or more than a bit. Shooting a shade better than 100. But he knows what it's like at the big league level. Finished strong for the Brew Crew last year.
Hey, he figured it out at the end. I mean, he was putting together some really good at-bats, getting a little bit more playing time, driving some pitches out of the ballpark.
Got a good taste of what it's like the final weeks of a playoff chase. A lot of outfielders on this Brewers roster. Everybody knows that. So we'll see how the club handles that to begin the year. But as Craig Counsell has said over and over, how that 25-man looks on opening day, it could change in a hurry. We saw a lot of shuttling last year between Milwaukee and Colorado Springs.
I wonder if it's going to be much of the same. Maybe back end of the bullpen, you might see some guys coming up and down, but I think the Brewers bench is going to be rather solid. Saw a lot of movement with the Brewers bench last year. Might not be as much going forward.
Manny Banuelos missing with the 2-2. Christian Yelich, a homer to center. Broxton an infield hit. Braun a run-scoring double. Brawny the runner at third.
Payoff pitch coming to Phillips. Got him swinging. And that'll do it for the Brew Crew in the first. Got a couple of runs on 3 hits, and we are 3-1 at Maryvale. Brewers Badgers tied at 2. Cactus League action here today at better than 7,200 here yesterday afternoon, and might push that here today. Everybody bouncing back from St. Patrick's Day, right?
Yeah. You do anything fun yesterday?
I was
after the game.
You know, I was kind of laid back. Jake Peter with a ground ball to Eric Sogard. The first out of the inning. I caught the NCAA tournament. Watched the big Michigan shot.
Yeah, about
at
that.
the end. Milwaukee's own Jordan Poole hitting a 3 at the buzzer. Your Clemson Tigers are playing today. I believe.
Big win, round 1.
I didn't know they played basketball there.
Yeah, not many people do. It's usually baseball and football, right?
That's exactly right. Another very good year for your Clemson Tigers football program.
Yeah. Been a nice run.
Oh, Dabo Sweeney turning in some good work over there. Donovan Solano, the shortstop, the hitter. That's a great time of year with the NCAA tournament. Spring training baseball closer and closer to opening day. The NBA, the Bucks, still trying to secure their playoff berth and get some things turned around, get a little momentum going into the postseason. Fun time. Solano will lift one into left. Brett Phillips is there quickly. 2 men out here in the second.
And watching Chase Anderson this spring, concerted effort pitching inside. I think we've seen that from all the Brewer pitchers. Up and in, you know, the soft stuff down and away, and he's able to get in on the hands of Solano right there with a fastball. I think that's going to be a theme this year. A little bit more. I started a little bit last year. I think pitching in is going to be a big part of this starting rotations repertoire.
Edwin Rios attacking the first pitch, and that's deep to center, and that is over the batter's eye. Edwin Rios gets into one, and the Dodgers regain the lead in the second.
Yep, first pitch tried to come up and in. It was down and in. And left-handers like it down there. Well, if you're going to come in, you're better off going up and in. We'll see where that ends up. And Rios knocks it over everything in center field.
Said yesterday in batting practice, we were watching Ryan Braun. He flipped one over the batter's eye.
Yeah, rattled a couple off around those flagpoles out in left center as well.
He did.
Wind is blowing out hard out to center field right now. So you're best off keep the baseball down if you're pitching.
Curve in there from Anderson. It's 2 strikes and nothing to Manny Banuelos. And that is strike 3 called. That'll do it for the Dodgers. Chase Anderson, though, giving up a big fly. Edwin Rios, good looking swing. The result even better for LA. 3-2 Dodgers.
Dodgers up by a run in the bottom of the second. Hey, with just $29.99 per month, the Brewers Ballpark Pass guarantees your ticket to every home game this year at Miller Park. No exclusions, no blackout dates. That means every matchup, every giveaway game, even opening day. Learn more at brewers.com/ballparkpass.
Home opener April 2nd. Against the St. Louis Cardinals. Here is Orlando Arcia. Putting up some nice numbers at the plates here in the spring. Had very nice numbers last year in the regular season. And as he often does, he attacks the first pitch and sends it foul down the right field line.
Hey, we talked about him when he came on the air today, and you know, this season, the numbers as a general year were very good. I think the Brewers would like to see him be a little bit more consistent early.
Goes the other way, right field. Room for Alex Verdugo, the first out of the inning.
Yeah, real hot sometimes, real cold at times. But remember, I think everybody forgets this. He's 23.
Well, you're right.
I mean, you can't state that enough. I mean, he is young. He's still learning and still put together a good season last year.
That's the most exciting part of it with Orlando Arcia. His career is really just beginning at this level. He is one exciting player to watch.
You remember what you were doing when you were 23? Probably not hitting, you know, sliders in big league ballparks. Right?
No.
Yeah.
Couldn't hit him in high school.
Little roundhouse curveballs.
That sent me into the broadcast path pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's where most of us that can't hit that stuff end up.
Eric Sogard giving Chase Utley another chance. 2 up, 2 down. Well, as Brian Anderson has said, you made your outs in the big leagues. Guys like me made them in high school. I'm going to visit with Carlos Subero in the top of the third, the first base coach. And
he's a busy man.
He is. Gets that infield organized for the Brew Crew. Be interesting to get his thoughts on Ryan Braun and the adjustment that he's attempting to make over at first. Ji-Man Choi, when he's been in the lineup, has been pretty solid here in the spring for the Brewers. Chase Anderson down 2 strikes and nothing.
Yep, all part of the responsibilities of the Brewers infield instructor and first base coach.
And that's 3 looking. Chase Anderson down on strikes, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Manny Banuelos. We're through 2 in the Cactus League. Dodgers lead 3-2. Maryvale Baseball Park. Joined now by first base coach Carlos Subero, kind enough to join us here this afternoon. Look at him, he's multitasking. He can listen to us and the baseball's thrown his way so we can resume play. How you doing, Carlos?
Great, thank you. Good to hear from you guys.
First question is probably an obvious one here. We're seeing Ryan Braun back in the lineup at first base here today. From your perspective, how has this gone for Bronny over at first so far?
I think it's been a good transition. He's put the amount of work that he needs so far, and as you guys have seen in our games, it seems like he's played there before. I think it helps a lot that he played third base and has good footwork, and now around first base. He's trying to get used to the cutoff and relays and the position and getting to the base with each ground ball hit to the infield, but the more he does it, the more comfortable he's starting to get with.
Imagine there's a lot more to the position than a lot of people think, and fair to say even more so in recent years, Carlos, with the shifting defensively. There's just a little more to think about, more to get used to as a first baseman.
Yeah, especially when we have a shift with the right-handed hitter where we play all 3 infielders, second, short, and third on the left side. The first baseman will play in that deeper in that 3-hole or gravitate towards second base, and that's something we still haven't done with Bronny. We're still trying to get him from a position where he's comfortable with his footwork, but eventually that's something that we'll be able to work into.
Your job, Carlos, is get a little bit challenging these days with all the different guys playing multiple positions. How do you get each one of these guys, like Perez and some of these guys that play multiple positions, how are you able to manage getting them enough work at each position?
I think they do a lot of it now that we've been together for a couple of years. A lot of them, they know like the plan of that week where they're going to be playing, or they see the lineup that day, and then we try and go accordingly. When they don't play, we kind of hit the positions where it's the weakest strength, probably where the weakest is and not their strength, and then we go from there. But at times you can also do like the Hernan. He likes to take ground balls at third base, backhand, and then he'll go and do double play pivots at second. So I think as of now, they've been accountable for it. They do a good job of knowing what to do on a daily basis.
Yeah, a lot of work for you, but let's talk about Orlando Arce. We talked about him when we came on the air today as Chase Utley swings and misses. Good pitch from Chase Anderson, but where do you see the biggest progress for Orlando from the beginning of his year last year to what you see from him now?
Well, what we're seeing right now, they don't rely now on me being able to position them. He knows what he needs to do. Like early in the first inning, you could see 0-0 count on Jock Peterson. He was playing on the left side of the second base. And then when it went to 2-0, Travis naturally came here, and then he went back to shortstop. So being able to do that, identify pitches and move with pitches and different pitchers, that's something that he's definitely done a good job with it. He used to rely a lot in what we did from the dugout. Now it's like an initial game plan. And we had to say it, now he's like, but that's how it works.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean, as the count changes here, I mean, now you have no third baseman really. So basically what you're saying to Jock Peterson here is that if you want to bunt, go ahead. We're going to play to your power, right?
Yeah, especially 0-1. If you want to do it, or if you want to bunt 2-0, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, and that's something he's done better. I think you could see, like now he's 0-2, but you could see how Orlando last year did a real good job with pick plays. Being able to develop a good relationship with our pitchers, with Chase on the mound. We got like 3-4 different picks with the catcher. He wasn't so good at it, and then his double play pivot got so much shorter around the base that allowed him to turn a double play that in the past he couldn't. So those three areas are three that Orlando definitely improved.
Visiting with Carlos Subero, the Brewers' first base coach. Talk a little infield play here as well. Travis Shaw playing in what is right now a traditional second base, and Sogard out on the grass in shallow right field. I want to ask you about Jonathan VR too. And Rock and I were talking about him earlier in the week. There you see that's Shaw. That's where a second baseman normally is. Although I'm not sure what's normal anymore with the linemen. It seems like just from in the last week or so, especially that Johnny VR is catching a little bit of a groove right now, getting some good at bats. But what have you seen from him so far in spring training?
I think that he knew coming into spring training that he needed to come in the best of his shape, and he did a real good job, not only playing in Dominican, but besides that, doing the necessary work on the mound, coming in here ready. And he's feeling more confident after having a down year last year. I think he lost some of his confidence, and gradually we're starting to see the VR. He's bunting again. We definitely made a big emphasis on running the bases. A little bit more with cautious, still smart and aggressive, but a little bit more with cautious, and we've seen that. And then defensively staying real low in his lower half. And if you see it, he's done a real good job at it. So he's starting to get, hopefully we get the VR that we had 2 years ago, and that's what we're trying to get to.
You just saw the benefits of moving infielders around a little bit as Eric Sogard gets the put out there, 4-3.
I wanted to ask you, how do you guys decide who in that shift situation right there? Now you had Shaw over there where the second baseman was, and then you had Sogard out in short right. How do you guys determine who is going to be wearing those shifts?
Like, the shift is based on percentage, and you want to have, if we got with 2 strikes, a percentage of the balls are going to hit towards certain part of the field, and you want to have that fielder there. And Sogard having better range than Shaw, and that being the percentage amount where the ball's going to be hit, you expect Sogard to cover more ground than Shaw. At times you could see that when we have Sogard playing second base, we do have Arcia in right field, considering that Arcia has better range than Sogard.
Yeah.
And that's something that we have done now. When Villar and Arcia play, they kind of equal range, so we leave him alone. And that's what we do. It's based on the percentage, and you try to put the fielder with best range and the better fielder overall over there.
All right, Carlos, fascinating stuff. It's interesting to watch you, to get your thoughts on shifting as it goes on. Thanks for joining us. Good luck this season.
All right, thank you, guys. Have a good one.
3-2 Dodgers in the third.
still with a 1-run lead, and join the crew this season with the Brewers 20-game membership. Secure your priority seat at 20 of the year's most popular games, plus enjoy all the exclusive benefits reserved for Brewers season seat holders. Learn more at brewers.com/ticket plans.
Tremendous anticipation for this season for the Milwaukee Brewers. Moves made in the offseason, getting Lorenzo Cain a scheduled day off for him today, but Christian Yelich, it's quite the week there in late January. The trade for Yelich, the free agent signing Lorenzo Cain, and long-term deals. They're both going to be Brewers for a while. As this club, David Stearns has mentioned it from the outset. It isn't about just trying to win now. You're not going to hear that necessarily. It's try to be good year in and year out. You see Ryan Braun in the first inning, part of that 2-run first as he banged a double off the wall.
It's going to be a pretty good 1 through 4 punch, isn't it, in this Brewers lineup?
Good looking group.
I mean, it's not going to be too bad going down from there too, right? With Pena, and you got Domingo Santana. I mean, it's going to be a team where you would think is going to be pretty consistent in scoring runs. I mean, they have made a concerted effort of making better contact. 2-strike approach seems to be much better.
Eddie Banuelos pretty careful with Christian Yelich, and that's why in the first inning, sending one over the wall in center. That was how the Brewers began their home half of the first, and they begin the home half of the third with Yelich drawing a walk.
Man, he can swing the bat, and he has a very good eye at the plate.
An on-base guy, Christian Yelich, much the same with Lorenzo Cain. Keon Broxton working to head in that direction a little bit more, striking out more than he would like in spring training. A fly ball out toward right field. That's Alex Verdugo for out number 1. And clearly, if Keon can get the ball in play, there's a lot of hits that he can get that maybe a lot of others can't because of his speed.
Yeah, case in point, his first at bat. I mean, little dribbler up the middle. Well, the infield knows he runs very well, so wasn't able to handle it because he rushed.
Here is Ryan Braun. We talked about somebody locked in against the White Sox early last week. He homered not once but twice off Carson Fulmer. The second was a grand slam. As you saw a couple moments ago, he began today with a double, RBI double. Couple dozen at-bats, thereabouts. Usually what he needs in that area, give or take.
Playing a little bit more this year in spring training because they're trying to get him some time at first.
1-1 the count to Brawny.
Yeah, last few years, Braun didn't get in that bat until maybe 2 weeks into spring training. A little different this year.
Says if needed, he can take some turns out in right field as well, where he did play a couple of years ago. Make room for Chris Davis, who's now with the Oakland A's. One thing, Craig Counsell, as he calls it, his position player group, he has some very attractive options he can put out there in the outfield, whatever combo he wants day in and day out.
His biggest challenge, talking about the Brewers manager, is going to be getting all those guys playing time. They all deserve playing time. Sogard and Perez, whichever one of the 3 of the 4 guys in the outfield are going to be playing.
Braun, a bat you want in that lineup as often as possible.
And you're also going to have some guys down in the minor leagues in AAA that are good enough to be in the major leagues.
There's some of Braun's work against the White Sox early in the week. A solo blast in the first inning. And then a grand slam, and a no-doubter at that.
Nice easy swing, isn't it? I mean, just good leverage. It's good extension.
On a swing and a miss for out number 2 here in the 3rd inning.
That chased the breaking ball down in the dirt. It's only the 2nd time he struck out this spring. Really doing a very good job making contact. Slider.
Here's Travis Shaw. Grounded to 2nd in the 1st inning. Manny Banuelos gave up those 2 runs in the 1st.
This guy's got a good arm. I mean, he throws hard. I mean, he throws in the low to mid-90s. He's got 3 other pitches to go with it. Curveball, slider, the slider that he struck Braun out with. And he's thrown some changeups.
We're talking about the NCAA tournament. Travis Shaw, a little bummed this morning. He's an Ohio native. And although he went to Kent State, he's a big Ohio State fan. Buckeyes bowed out yesterday. These guys all around sports fans. Travis Shaw is one of them.
This is one of the first times in a while you haven't been actively involved in that tournament, right?
19 straight years, right?
Yeah. Finally able to get down to Arizona, hang out with us.
That's all good. It's all good.
We appreciate it.
It's good to be here. Not necessarily at the expense of the team I'm around in the wintertime, but this is it's good to be down here in Maryvale and taking a look at the facilities here, and well, they're pretty nice, and it's pretty cool to know it's going to be a whole lot better the next year.
Got a big groundbreaking ceremony on Tuesday morning.
Great things going on at Maryvale Baseball Park. It'll be a hub, if you will, of activity, and really where it all starts, right? Player development, and it's going to be tremendous, and it will be the Brewers and Brewers alone. These facilities out here shared, including the Dodgers. They share their facility at Camelback Ranch with the White Sox. Full count to Shaw, and he looks at ball 4. So a couple of walks given up by Manny Banuelos here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, Bulldogs are going to be lined up as soon as the team leaves for Houston. So if you forgot anything in the clubhouse, if you leave anything in there, I recommend you don't go back in there.
Yep, as soon as that final out is made, the work begins.
Yeah.
Craig Counsell, probably over a week ago, he had one of the sessions with the media. You think of, Miller Park, you have 81 home games, right? Well, you count spring training and everything here, you're here for about, what, 60?
Yeah.
With coaches and all the other off-season work that leads into getting you ready for the regular season. It'll be a spectacular facility.
Yeah.
Manny Pena at the plate. We'll look at what we're talking about. And the work to begin very, very soon.
Bigger concourses. They're going to demolish the minor league clubhouse area. And the big league guys and the minor league guys are going to be in the same building. They'll be separated. Nice training facilities, weight rooms.
Pena loops one into right field. That's a base hit. Yelich being waved around, and the Brewers have tied the game at 3. RBI single for Manny Pena.
Oh, what a nice approach with 2 strikes, right? I mean, that's what we've been talking about all spring. Guys really trying to make a concerted effort to put the ball in play. Manny able to pick on an 0-2 pitch, knock it into right field. Check it out. Look like a breaking ball that stayed up, didn't try and pull it, dumps it into right. Yelich scores.
3-3 ball game. Chance now for Brett Phillips. Struck out to end the 1st inning. their left-handed hitter facing a left-handed pitcher. A lot of that, as Rock mentioned, going on here for the Brewers in spring training. All these lefty starters that the crew has faced. And a little chopper charging Utley. A scoop over to Edwin Rios for the final out of the inning, but the Brewers push another run across. A 2-out RBI single off the bat of catcher Manny Pena. A lot of activity in the early innings at Maryvale Baseball Park. Brewers and Dodgers tied at 3. Here this afternoon. Hey, Fox Sports Supports proud to team up with Girls Inc., inspiring all girls to be strong, smart, and bold. The combination of long-lasting mentoring relationships, safe pro-girl environments, and research-based programming equip girls to lead healthy lives, break the cycle of poverty, and become leaders in their communities. Visit foxsportsupports.com to learn more. Yasmani Grandal will lead things off against Chase Anderson. Drops a curveball in there. Chase finding a little bit more of a groove. First inning, Rock, he needed 20 pitches. In the next two, just 24 total.
They just couldn't command the fastball early.
Grandal sends one out to right center field, and that's going to drop in front of Christian Yelich.
I got that one up and in. Grandal able to get enough of it. A little top spin on it, sinking as it got out there to Yelich. It was a cutter that really didn't cut too much. And Grandal able to get enough of it to dump it in the right.
Hit number 3 for the Dodgers this afternoon. There is Alex Verdugo. He appeared in 15 games for the Dodgers last year. Considered their number 2 prospect in their system. Pitcher by the name of Walker Buehler is their top prospect. Buehler out of Vanderbilt. Hard thrower. Verdugo, a promising outfielder for this Dodgers organization. 21 years old.
Tough outfield to break into. You got Puig out there in right. Kemp in center. Taylor in, or I should say Kemp in left, Taylor in center. But Taylor's really made a name for himself, has he not?
He has versatility.
Boy.
Getting some things straightened out at the plate. It's a hot shot by Anderson, but Sogard is there. There's one, and that's all they'll get. That's a tough play there. He's just trying to find the bag with Arcia. There's a hot shot back up the middle.
You see the playing him up the middle. Yeah, good flip, but Arcia just couldn't find the bag. Got to make sure one. No chance for the double play.
4-6 to erase Grandal. To bring Jake Peter to the plate. They mentioned Yasiel Puig. Dave Roberts got a lot of praise for how he handled Puig. There's those wondering whether his time in LA was about gone. They ended up putting together a pretty good year, hitting 8th in the lineup for the Dodgers. Terrific defensive right fielder. Many thought was worthy of winning the Gold Glove. He didn't win it, but certainly could have.
Incredible arm. It's a pretty good lineup. You got Justin Turner at third base, Corey Seager at short. Cody Bellinger is going to be at first base. You got Utley, you got Logan Forsythe at second. Yeah, you're talking about a legitimate chance to get back to the World Series. And of course, anytime you have a rotation with Clayton Kershaw in it, that's pretty good.
We saw Kershaw Monday at Camelback Ranch, and he looked like he was ready for the games to count. And you talk about the competitive nature of these guys. I mean, you want to get your work in, get yourself ready for the regular season. Kershaw is one of those guys, and especially here in these spring training parks, if he's not happy with a pitch, he's yelling at himself. Lost his bat, a grounder there to Sogard. That's Arcia for one on the Braun, a double play. Broken bat, double play, ground ball off the bat of Jake Peter. And the inning is over for Chase Anderson as he saws off the third baseman Peter. 4-6-3. They are tied at 3. Supporting the Milwaukee community through a variety of initiatives like building houses, bikes for kids, scholarships, youth baseball, and much more. Join Brewers Community Foundation. Play on our team by lending a physical and financial hand to nonprofits throughout Milwaukee and Wisconsin. A 3-3 ball game, home half of the fourth. 7, 8, and 9 hitters in Craig Counsell's lineup against Manny Banuelos. Orlando Arcia leading things off. Three runs, 4 hits for the Brew Crew. Showed a little pop in his bat last year, did Arcia, with the 15 home runs. Including a big one in late September against the Chicago Cubs. It helped set up the walk-off an inning later from Travis Shaw after the Cubs actually took the lead in the 10th. One of the great moments, and there were a lot of fun moments at Miller Park last year.
Yeah, Orlando started to pull the ball with authority toward the latter part of the season, August, September. Driving the ball in the left center, down the left field line.
And he drives one here to left center field, and that's going to go to the wall. And a leadoff double to center for Orlando Arcia.
Well, getting the bat head out as opposed to like letting the ball travel just kind of inside out and poking it into right field. That's what he was doing when he started to get hot around May and early June. This time he just gets good extension and drives this one hop off the fence. Looking better and better at the plate.
So many exciting young players in baseball. Players 25 and younger. And Arcia right in the middle of that conversation of good young talent in the big leagues. Here's Eric Sogard.
This is where Sogard is so good. Maybe not because you got the pitcher on deck, but this is normally a situation Sogard will execute very well. Try and pull one to the right side to get Arcia over to third, but not necessarily with the pitcher on deck. That's what makes batting in the ace spot such a challenge. Some guys just don't like it.
Sogard was a big plus for this ball club. He was called up in May. Well, that second week of May. Did a little damage against the New York Mets at Miller Park. Gives Craig Counsell some options. That, as he calls it, position player group, how he wants to handle things at second base. I know, Rock, we were talking earlier in the week about Jonathan Villar trying to regain a little bit of that productivity that he had a couple of years ago.
If he's able to man second base on a consistent basis, then I think that is that makes the Brewers bench a lot stronger.
3-0 to Sogard. That's a 4-pitch walk. Manny Banuelos gives up a leadoff double to Orlando Arcia, and then a walk to Eric Sogard.
Perfect situation for Chase Anderson and the Brewers. See if Anderson can drop down a bunt here.
We will have a mound conference. And this going on. We will remind you, Bob Guerin, who is not out there, but he, as the bench coach, is managing the Dodgers club today. They have split their squad. A lot of their regulars, including their manager, Roberts, back at Camelback Ranch. We were talking in the top half of this inning about players such as Taylor and Corey Seager and Puig and Cody Bellinger. They're all in the lineup. Dodgers are playing the Padres this afternoon. Chase Anderson. Try to move him up here a little bit. And he will do just that. Well executed bunt. Grandal with the play at first. Well done. Sacrifice bunt for Anderson. Runners at second and third with one out.
Yep, high fives all around in that dugout. Good job by Chase. Now the top of the order up with men at second and third. Brewers executing nicely today.
Really hard.
Gets that bat out in front, deadens it on the dirt. No play for Grandal except for first base.
The first 2 plate appearances, by the way, of the spring for Chase Anderson. He struck out in the second. The sac bunt here. There's Christian Yelich. Solo homer and a walk. Scored a couple of runs. Homered 18 times with the Marlins last year, drove in 81. And a very solid 282 as well for Miami.
You just see the way he keeps that front shoulder closed, right? I mean, doesn't pull off anything. A lot of left-handed batters against a left-handed pitcher, particularly in this situation with men on base. Maybe get a little anxious. That front shoulder doesn't budge.
A ball, a strike. Yelich in right field again this afternoon. Christian's experience is in center and in left at this level, but has been getting some turns out in right. 26-year-old out of Thousand Oaks, California.
Oh, yeah.
Gold Glove good was Yelich 4 years ago with the Marlins. He's someone who, especially the last couple of years, Don Mattingly has been able to pencil into the lineup on a daily basis.
It's the other thing you love about that guy. 150, 155 games a year.
Very strong on-base percentage. 369 a year ago, 376 in 2016. And there's a base hit into center field. Marcy is in. Here comes Sogard, and it's a 2-run single for Christian Yelich. He is locked in this afternoon.
Brewers doing a lot of damage with 2 strikes today. Well, that's just a beautiful approach by Yelich. It was a curveball from the left-hander, and he stayed right on it. Pitch was down and golfed it into center field.
And Bob Guerin will make a pitching change. The day is done for Manny Banuelos. Brewers lead the Dodgers 5-3 with 1 out here in a home 4th inning. For the 4th, as the day is done for Manny Banuelos. Christian Yelich with a 2-run single and a pitching change made as Parker Curry now on for the Dodgers.
This guy, 4 different levels of the Dodgers organization. Most of his time coming in the Cal League, Rancho Cucamonga, 27 games and a .431 earned run average.
24-year-old out of Birmingham, Alabama. As he faces Keon Broxton.
2 different levels of A-ball, AA and AAA last year. That's getting around.
Well traveled. Brewers have the lead for the first time today. Manny Banuelos is 3 1/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned. Walked 3, struck out 3. He's responsible for Yelich, the runner at first. Breaking ball is fouled.
Yelich with 3 RBIs, 2 hits, 2 runs scored.
Yeah, good day. A solo homer, a walk to go with that 2-run single a moment ago. Looking closer and closer to being ready.
I think they're all ready to go. I think position players, these guys are saying, let's get to San Diego.
A ball, 2 strikes to Broxton. And he takes a look at a called third strike. That's out number 2 in the 4th. Eric, I suppose it's something that comes up every year. Somebody will ask the question, but when you're at this point of camp and you're someone like a Yelich or Ryan Braun, you get your work in, but you want to be smart about it too, right? I mean,
you don't be taking chances, stealing bases, diving for baseballs. Although that's your instinct, right? I mean, if you're out there, you want to try and make a catch, but you would prefer they didn't do that. Craig Counsell's, his job is to make sure these guys are healthy. He got a couple of weeks. Play them every other day. Get them out of games early. Yeah. And Counsell anticipated that. We were talking to him 2 weeks ago about that. He said that's his biggest challenge, to keep these guys healthy. Manage their playing time. Don't give them too many days off, but don't play them too much. It's like when a catcher goes out to a pitcher and tough hitters coming up, says, don't give him anything to hit, but don't walk him.
Thanks for the help.
One or the other, right?
Right. Well, that's what created a little bit of a nervous moment yesterday when Lorenzo Cain got hit twice. Once on a pickoff attempt. He took one of the small of the back. Then got hit by a pitch.
Yeah.
He was okay, and this is a day off for him today anyway.
But that's the kind of stuff we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
2 strikes to nothing to Ryan Braun. And that is hit well, and that will be a fair ball. Rolling into the corner. Yelich around third. He's in. And check that box. Ryan Braun is ready. RBI double.
It's something else. That guy can hit. I was watching Yelich cut the bases. I don't think he uses any extra yardage that he needs to get around the base. He cuts the bases so nicely. Breaking ball to Braun. He stays back long enough, and he hooks it down the line and left. You don't see Brawny do that much. I mean, on pitches like that, he's normally going to drive it into right. But Yelich just gliding around the bases. Looks effortless.
That's the one thing. We see him now every day. We'd see him a couple of times, obviously, during the year when the Brewers and Marlins hooked up. You just get an appreciation. He's got a little length to him. Just a very gifted athlete.
He cut third base. I mean, it reminded me a lot the way, Molitor used to round the bases in Paulie, or I should say Robin. I mean, he cut around third base and didn't even touch the grass hardly.
No wasted space.
Right. I mean, he's going from point A to point B. He cuts those bases so sharp.
Two strikes to nothing to Travis Shaw, who is grounded to second, and he walked in the 3rd inning. Brewers have wrapped out 7 hits here today. This has turned into a 3-run inning for the Crew. Close the book on Banuelos. Gives up now 6 runs all earned. And that bounces well in front of the plate, and Braun over to third of the wild pitch. Closed the chapter on yesterday. We were talking about Lorenzo Cain getting hit by a pitch. That was Antonio Senzatella, who's trying to earn a spot in the Rockies rotation. It was a couple of innings later. Senzatella actually had an at-bat that hit a fly ball to center, but it was later. Carlos Gonzalez, who got hit lower leg. Matt Albers was on the mound, and it was done. Whatever may or may not have been there. That bounces away from Grandal, but not enough for Braun to advance.
Yeah, if you ask Albers, he'll just say one got away. Well, Carlos Gonzalez, he got up. I guess maybe expecting something like that at some point. Just went to first base.
It's one of those, you take care of it and you move on and get yourself ready for the season. Brewers will play the Rockies Tuesday. Salt River Fields, a talking stick. Shaw, a swing and a miss. That'll do it for the Brew Crew in the fourth, but a 3-run inning for Milwaukee, as the Brewers have the lead for the first time today. We are through 4. Sunday afternoon, the sunshine. This lazy day out on the berm. Pretty comfortable, only in the, 60s here today. Warm up, though. Be in the 80s in a day or two.
It's nice in the sun, a little chilly in the shade, right?
Oh, yeah.
We got our jackets on up here. Of course, we don't take to the cold too well.
We're soft.
Yeah, it's better said.
It's 66 today, but much cooler here in the shade. Donovan Solano leading off. 5th inning of work for Chase Anderson. Dodgers with 2 in the first and a run in the second.
Pitch count in pretty good shape for Chase in the 5th inning. 55 pitches now, after kind of a struggle in the 1st inning.
And Solano with a fly ball out into right center field. That'll be Keon Broxton taking charge, and there's the first out. Scheduled off day tomorrow for the Brewers, and then Tuesday against Colorado, Junior Guerra will be on the mound. Split squad day on Wednesday. We'll have the A's here in Maryvale and the Mariners in Peoria. Brent Suter and Wade Miley be scheduled to go, and then Zach Davies on Thursday against the Kansas City Royals.
Brewers trying to still figure out who's going to be in the back end of that rotation. Only need 4 starters to begin the season. Greg Counsell has said he's going to break camp with 8 relievers. I don't know how long that's going to last.
1-2 the count to Edwin Rios. I know we've talked about it here for a while. I know you and DA brought it up. That 5th starter really not needed till game 8. for the Crew. And we talked about some of these guys. O'Gara pitched pretty well after a struggle in the first inning against the Dodgers. Brandon Woodruff was getting some minor league work here today. Put him on a schedule. Wade Miley had his first probably tough outing a couple days ago against the Reds, but he's put together a pretty good camp.
Yeah, Miley's given up 9 runs in 16 innings, and 7 of those 9 runs came in that last start.
Well, that was a wild one, 16-14. Late field goal, the difference. Brewers and Reds in Goodyear. 2 teams you don't hit.
Might be some wild games in Great American Ballpark this year.
Rios with a fly out toward Broxton. 2 up, 2 down in the 5th. We're winding down our spring training television schedule. The A's here in Maryvale on Wednesday, and then the final game, as we will know, Maryvale Baseball Park on Thursday against the Royals, and then the renovation will be underway here. Check us out Wednesday and Thursday here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Pitch hitter here for the Dodgers, and it's sent off the wall in right center field. That is Luke Raley, an outfielder. One of the minor leaguers up with the Dodgers here today, and he doubles to the gap in right center field.
Hey, able to go down and get it, the left-hander. Picks on a pitch out over the plate and lines it into right center. That 4th hit allowed by Chase Anderson.
So we go from young Luke Raley to a guy they call the Silver Fox, Chase Utley. Talk about guys who have clubhouse presence. Utley would be one of those. Going after the first pitch, hits it hard but foul.
And he still has those quick hands on pitches inside, doesn't he? You figure after all these years, the injuries that he's had to suffer through, and stands right on top of home plate, and he challenges you to come inside. Still has the quickness to get to that pitch.
His tremendous years with the Phillies. Part of that 08 World Series championship team.
That wasn't a better offensive second baseman in the game in those years.
Anderson missing with a fastball. 1-1 the count. Three runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Facing the 6-time All-Star, Chase Utley. 5 of those were consecutive from 06 to 2010. It's that time period Brock's talking about where he was the guy who gets you around 300, and including 1 year in 07 where he hit 332. Big power year in their championship season of 08 where he homered 33 times and drove in 104.
He still works the count pretty well. He's having a little meeting with young home plate umpire saying, you know, sir, that wasn't a strike. I've been in this game a long time. I know my strike zone. But he does it in a pretty classy way.
Very professional. And a miss. Change up. Gets Chase Utley. And that'll do it for the Dodgers in the 5th. We're halfway through here at Maryvale Baseball Park. 6:30. 6-3 Brewers lead the Dodgers. We move to the bottom of the 5th. Nothing better in the month of March.
Cold's all relative, isn't it?
It really is.
It's not cold to him.
New pitcher here for the Dodgers is Josh Fields now on the mound.
Yep, 3rd year with the LA Dodgers. Spent a long time with the Astros. Good year for him last year. 57 games all out of the bullpen, a 284 earned run average. How about the record, huh? 5-0.
Take that.
Yeah. He was born in Athens, Georgia, and went to college right there, University of Georgia, the Bulldogs.
Tom Crean getting a job down there, new basketball coach in Georgia, former Marquette coach. Of course, recently of Indiana. Trying to cover a couple different sports here.
Well, you're kind of on top of that. A lot of times, I'd have to look that stuff up, but I think you're pretty right on it.
It's hard to get that out of my system right now.
Good for you.
He did a really nice job as a broadcaster in the last year. Those competitors, got to jump back into the arena. There's Manny Pena. Another curveball for strike 1. Manny Pena, Brett Phillips, and Orlando Arcia. The bottom of the 5th inning.
Fields a hard thrower, mid to upper 90s. He's got the curveball to go with it. It was the first pitch that he threw to Manny in this at bat. Curveball. Throw a changeup every now and again.
The 32-year-old ready with the 1-1. There's a fastball that missed high. Run scoring single for Pena in the 3rd inning. He's also bounced to 2nd. Well, the Brewers have a pair of terrific arms behind the plate. Manny Pena, Jet Bandy. Pena hits this in the air to shallow center field. That's Jock Peterson. Out number 1.
Yep, Christian Bethencourt has a cannon behind home plate. Jacob Nottingham with a good arm. We've seen Hull back there behind home plate. Really good backstops the Brewers have.
Really building organizational depth throughout. It was kind of fun the other day, too. It was a nice moment, a good spring training moment. Dustin Hull hit a 3-run homer with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, or the top of the 9th, I should say, that tied the game against the Rangers. Texas won it, getting a run in the bottom of the 9th, but still a pretty cool moment for a guy trying to get on the radar a little bit more, and had a big hit. It's a fun part of spring training. You get to see the stars, and you get to see some other guys just trying to knock down the door.
Yeah, big league manager and coaches, see what you can do.
Brett Phillips, hopper to Edwin Rios, 2 up, 2 down in the 5th. Why don't you and Lane Grindle were talking about it yesterday on the webcast? We've half joked when we've talked about the Brewers' record in spring training, and no one has a better one here in the Cactus League. But maybe it's not so much the what, but the how. And you see some of these young guys who are the difference makers in the late innings taking advantage of a chance.
Well, it just goes to show you that, the Brewers do have a deep system. Big leagues, minor leagues, and the guys that finish games, particularly, I think, the pitching that they've been able to show has been good enough to keep leads.
Arcia, first pitch swinging, pops it up, and Rios will squeeze it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Josh Fields. We're through 5 at Maryvale Baseball Park. Brewers lead by 3.
calendars. The Brewers' first bobblehead giveaway this year is set for Sunday, April 22nd. All fans in attendance for the game against the Marlins will take home a free Eric Thames bobblehead, courtesy of Toyota. Learn more at brewers.com/tickets.
Another inning of work here for Chase Anderson, top of the 6th, and Jock Peterson attacking right away. A fly ball out to shallow left center. Oh, that was a tough one, battling the sun. Broxton stays with it. No harm, no foul. A near collision there with Brett Phillips. An exciting first out.
Yeah, Brett Phillips time. Hey, I saw it all the way, man. I had the good angle on it, but nice play. That's how you get on the highlight shows. Phillips sees it all the way. He's ready to catch it, but how about Broxton able to grab it before it hits the ground?
We have a few clouds out here, but that doesn't mean that much that's hit in the air is routine. Stays with it and makes the play. Does Keon Broxton.
Boy, Anderson looks sharp, doesn't he, after that first inning?
Really does.
Gave up the home run to Rios, but since that time, really hadn't given up much. Couple of hits. Has not walked a batter today.
A busy first inning, but he's been catching some rhythm since then. Matt Kemp sends one to left field. First hit of the day for Kemp, and the 5th for the Dodgers.
Hard to keep that guy hitless. He's got such a good swing, quick stroke. Still has big power.
Two guys right there who know how to drive the baseball, Kemp and Ryan Braun.
Nice and quiet, not much of a leg kick, just keeps that, picks it up, sets it down, and bat whistles through the strike zone.
There is Yasmani Grandal. They are attacking. Going after the first pitch again.
Well, Chase right now has got such good command. Curveball, changeup. I think what the Dodgers have determined is, hey, if he gives me a fastball on the count, I'm not taking it.
One out, one on here in the 6th. Mentioned Chase throwing well after a couple bumps early here today. Zach Davies was solid yesterday and got some help from an around the horn triple play. Which he does have a, if they turn triple plays, there's a good chance that Zach Davies is on the mound. A wave and a miss. Grandal strikes out. 2 men out in the 6th.
Yeah, good to see Davies yesterday. He looked good. I mean, good command of his fastball. The curveball is a good pitch for him. That's always a question mark every time he goes out there. I didn't mean to, but swings right through it. A half swing by Grandal and a strikeout victim.
That was a 5-4-3 triple play, which would remind Brewer fans of a couple of years ago against the Miami Marlins. They went around the horn with Davies pitching. Marcelo Zuna was at the plate, and that was an Aaron Hill, Yadiel Rivera turned triple play.
Do you have that off the top of your head?
I had to look that one up.
I was going to say, come on, man.
No.
You got to save that for the regular season, that kind of stuff.
No, I figured spring training is the time you kind of pour that out there.
Yeah, that's good.
Gap.
Well done, but you had to look it up.
I did.
See, at least you're honest. You know, the guy that sits in that seat a lot of times, he's not going to be honest about that. He'll say, yeah, I remember that.
Who's that?
I think he's in Boise right now. Or is he gone?
I think he has left Boise, and as I'm sure he will tell us, because we're going to ask him where the next stop is for Brian Anderson on the tournament trail. And oh, there's a tease right there. Where in the world is Brian Anderson? A strikeout of Verdugo, and that'll do it for the Dodgers in the 6th. Good work from Chase Anderson. Another punch out. Brewers lead 6-3. Dodgers. And Rock, my question for you is, are the Sausages regular season ready here? It looks like they got one that's for sure rounding into form.
Yeah, Italian's looking good.
good.
Yeah, that's about the size of the bratwurst that they served me today. That thing had to be 18 inches long. And you know what the sad thing about that is? I ate every inch of it.
And you liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad. Tony Cingrani, his second year with the Dodgers. He split time between the Reds and LA last year. His best season came in 2016 with the Reds, where he saved 17 games.
Yeah, one-time starter. This for a while for Cincinnati. Going back probably 5 years. Change defensively also for the Dodgers. Cingrani delivers to Eric Sogard. Will Smith now behind the plates. Sogard, a ground ball to second and a walk. Scored a run in the fourth inning.
Cingrani signed in 2011. Reds number 3 round draft choice out of Rice University. He was in the big leagues the next year. Got to the major leagues quickly.
Sogard is swing and a miss, and Cingrani makes quick work of Eric Sogard for out number 1. I'm going to get a look at a young Brewer who is making a pretty favorable impression here in spring training. Keston Hiura, top draft pick, homered against the Dodgers. First Cactus League homer last Monday at Camelback Ranch. Brock, I think they've been encouraged. He had an error yesterday, but I think the question going in is how well would he play out of the field, out at second. I think they've been pretty encouraged.
Yeah, he has.
And there's that bat, and it's a loud foul ball there. This guy, as they say over and over again in this game, he can roll out of bed and get you a couple hits. He looks like he could be one of those guys.
Yeah, 11 for 28 so far this spring. That's almost 400 batting average, 393. But he's always been able to hit. Yeah, had shoulder problems, but seems to have gotten past that. He's been throwing the baseball pretty well this spring.
Promising young player in this Brewers system. And a base hit. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Steps to the plate and gets base hits.
Yeah, weighted bags, got that high leg kick. Cingrani gave him a slider. Stayed up in the zone and hit it hard into left field. He makes it look easy. He really does. Nice short stroke. A little bit of an uppercut to it. Yeah, finishes high and able to pound that hanging slider into left field.
1 out, 1 on here for the Brew Crew in the 6th. Christian Yelich is having a day.
That is about as close to a balk as you're ever going to see. Throw to first base and not have it called. That might be what Yelich is smiling about.
So we'll give you that one.
A lot of times you break that back knee like he does. I mean, you have to go to home plate. He's got a very unusual throw to first. And Hiura just able to get back.
Yelich today is homered, solo homer, a 2-run single, and in between he walked into third. He has scored 3 times. Ball a strike to Christian Yelich. Here a pinch hitting for Chase Anderson. A good day's work for Chase. Six innings, 3 runs allowed. 2-1 the count to Yelich.
Yeah, he's got to feel good about that outing today. One more before opening day. That's Saturday coming up.
And then the opening day starter.
No.
We'll see if they, in time, we might check in with him. He may want to get in a little more work, even though it's been a 6-inning outing for Anderson. Still, we talked a little while ago, still get your work in, get yourself ready.
Had a good curveball, good changeup today, good location after the first inning. Actually, after the first 3 batters, right? First 2 batters, much better.
Well, you're right. Yelich draws a walk. Yeah, he hit the first batter of the day in Chase Utley, a double given up to Jock Peterson, but then settled in after that and gave up a home run, a solo shot to Edwin Rios in the second.
You give up 3 runs in 6 innings in this league, you're going to win a lot of games. Especially with the way that you would expect the Brewers offense to perform this year.
Get into that Brewers bullpen, which was really good last year. Closer, the caliber of Corey Knebel, an all-star a year ago. Josh Hader, looking good. Jacob Barnes working one of the minor league games today. So trying to get him going, although you have to be careful, I guess, when you start pouring over too many spring training statistics. It was not an electrifying stat line for Barnes last March either, and then when the games counted, first 12 outings, he gave up nothing.
Yeah.
The ball is strike to Broxton. Runners are going. Pitch is taking a strike, and out of third is Keston Hiura. Will Smith, the catcher, cutting down Hiura at third for out number 2.
Had a good pitch to throw on, kind of drop step and behind Broxton, and easy pickings at third base. Let's check it out. Right behind, clears the runner. I should say clears the hitter, and an easy throw to third base.
Cingrani with a 1-2.
Man, not a very good lead, not a good jump, and Smith gets him easily at third base.
One-two pitch again, and Broxton goes down swinging. A pitch in on the hands. Keon unable to catch up. And Tony Cingrani retires the side. 6-3 Brew Crew as we move to the 7th.
Counts. He's going to go down to the bullpen, throw a few. Maybe after that we might get a chance to chat with him. Hey, no matter where you are, you'll never miss a second of the action with MLB.TV Premium. Enjoy HD streams of all out-of-market games on over 400 different devices. Plus, get a free MLB.com at-bat Premium subscription when you sign up.
And with Chase Anderson's day done, Boone Logan now on the mound for Milwaukee.
Signed in the offseason. He was with the Cleveland Indians last year. 38 appearances. He did spend some time on the disabled list. One of two left-handers at least you figure down in that Brewers pen to start the season. He and Josh Hader, maybe another. Who knows?
Jake Peter leading things off for the Dodgers. Some changes here with the Brewers. We'll get you all caught up here in a moment. Peter looking for his first hit here this afternoon. A wave and a miss there. He is grounded to second, hit into a double play in the fourth. 2 strikes and nothing. The count to Jake Peter, the Dodgers third baseman, and that is strike 3 swinging. Completing the strikeout will be Manny Pena for out number 1 as he throws down to Weston Wilson down there at first base for the Blue Crew up from the minor league. 1 out here in the 7th inning. Let's check out what's up right now on FoxSportsWisconsin.com. Stephen Vogt. If you haven't seen the video of him as a basketball official, you need to do that. He's done it for a while. Did it as an A. He taped an updated version this week as a Brewer. Craig Counsell talking about the prospects of this Brewers organization and highlights from this afternoon's Cactus League tussle with the Dodgers. Stephen Vogt as a basketball official is spot on. It is awesome. There's Donovan Solano with a fly ball out toward Keon Broxton. 2 up, 2 down.
It's spot on, but what would a real basketball official think of it?
He would have to grudgingly admit that it's spot on. It is just terrific.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
He has it all down, including the garb.
Yeah.
We'll just let you judge for yourself, maybe.
Hey. One of my favorite colors. You might see this one right here. Look. 2 shots. White, 33. Hit to the head, 2. Count it. White, 2-2. Walk, 1 shot.
Those are some of his teammates that were cackling in the background. At the end of that video, he's having like an officiating conference, and they're all covering their mouths because that's what they do, right? And it's like a mound meeting, the manager or the catcher, you cover your mouth. Basketball officials do the same thing. And the guys he's with, Jeremy Jeffers was one of them, and their shoulders are shaking. They're just laughing so hard. It is funny.
Yeah, these guys are something, aren't they? You get to know them a little bit. They have great sense of humor.
Got to break it up, right?
Yeah, it's a long season, long spring.
And a swing and a miss. Edwin Rios strikes out. Good work, Boone Logan retires the side in order. A couple of punch-outs along the way. Stretch time at the Maryville Ballpark. 7th we go. And when you combine the most provocative man in sports with the most interesting man in sports, you get the opinion that cuts through the hype. That Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. Weekdays at 4 p.m. Central only on FS1. New pitcher on the mound for the Dodgers as Zach Neal gets the call.
Man, had some time last year with the Oakland Athletics, 6 games. Struggled a bit, as you can see, earned run average around 8. Only had 14 in 2/3 innings. 6'3", 210 pounds out of Columbia, South Carolina.
And Nate Orff will lead things off. Orff is playing third base now. Day done for Chase Anderson. He's kind enough to join us, get a little extra work down in the bullpen after 6 innings. Chase, first, thanks for doing this. And how close to ready are you? You look pretty close, like
yeah.
ready for the regular season now.
Yeah, after the first couple innings, just trying to get that rhythm. I think the biggest thing is to get that from the get-go. But, I finished up strong, and, I think I have one more outing, and I'm feeling like I'm ready to go. So I'm looking forward to it.
How was last year? You got a lot of attention as Nate Orff sends one down the line and left. This is going to be extra bases. He's swinging a pretty good bat. Nate Orff with a leadoff double. I know you were asked a lot last year at this time about your off-season workout program. You got a lot stronger. You got a little bit more velocity. Was it the same kind of routine for you this off-season?
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing. Modify things every year because you're getting older, so a little bit more mobility and stretching and that kind of stuff. But overall, the strength training is about the same. So I'm a little heavier than I was last year, which is good. I think I'm just a late bloomer, as my dad used to say. So I'm about 208, 210 right now. So if I can stay right there, I'll be good to go.
What are your thoughts, Chase, being the Brewers opening day starter this year? It got to be a big thrill for you.
Yeah, it is. Kind of in a sweet spot right now with my family. My son's doing well. My wife is awesome, and getting this honor to get to set the tone for our team it's definitely a blessing, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to getting out there and getting our team off to the right foot. So for me, it's just getting the contract and then getting the nod for the opening day. We're at an exciting time, so I'm just very thankful and very humbled by that.
What a difference a year makes, right? I mean, last year this time you were told you need to win a job in the starting rotation. You certainly did that. And now you're named as the opening day starter. I mean, you worked hard for this.
Yeah, I think a lot goes into it. Obviously I put my work in, but a lot of people helped me get to this point. Started at home, my wife, my son, they keep me grounded. And Derek Johnson, challenging all the pitchers with the different stuff, and evolving in this game, learning new pitches, learning how to set up hitters and all that kind of stuff. So I think for me, it's just a growing process, and I'm thankful to be in this position.
Yeah, today it looked like you were pitching like you would in the regular season. At what point was today the day do you stop working on things so much, but just trying to get outs like you would in a regular season?
Yeah, for sure. I think once you get closer to opening day and the season, you got to get out there and get pitched like you would in a regular season game to kind of get you in that mode, get the adrenaline flowing. You worked on all your stuff the first 3 weeks of spring training. Curveball is where I want it. Cutter was good today. Fastball left a couple up, but other than that, changeup was probably the best it's been. I worked on that in my last side, so I think as a full arsenal, I feel like I'm in a good spot.
So Chase, you mentioned it Monday when you were talking with reporters after it was announced you're the opening day starter. I don't even know if anybody asked you, but you mentioned Derek Johnson and how much help he has been to you. And you're not the only pitcher who does this. What's the difference with him? There's a lot of ways to instruct, I guess, to advise. What makes Derek Johnson different to you?
Well, he sees, our strengths and our weaknesses, and he really thrives and really tries to, challenge us on our strengths. He always says, be great at what you're good at. And, I've always been a fastball changeup guy. Then, spinning the curveball now with a different grip he taught me a couple years ago, and with the cutter, just thinking four-seamer. So I think the biggest thing for me is, he's just been very instrumental in getting me to this position. Like you said, lots of ways to get there, and every guy's different. So he keeps things simple. He teaches us how to use the analytics to our strength, and I just go out there and try to do my job. So very thankful for him.
Yeah, you have to be really excited to be pitching behind an offense. The Brewers' offense was pretty good last year, but what were your thoughts when you're thinking about that day when the Brewers signed Lorenzo and Christian Yelich? You had to be like doing backflips.
I was almost. I was on a radio interview actually with a radio station in Milwaukee, and then breaking news. We trade for Yelich, sign Lorenzo Cain. And, you know, I didn't pull a Zach Davies and break my phone almost, but I was pretty excited because, you know, those guys are going to help us out on both sides of the ball, not just offensively, but, man, they take the pressure off of you defensively. They're gold glove caliber defenders. So for me to have those guys behind me, it's definitely nice. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. The gaps look like they're going to be covered in the outfield. And you're watching a young team, you know, the middle of the infield with Orlando Arcia, obviously, you know, among the better shortstops already. Imagine you feel more and more confident that the guys behind you are going to be there to help you all the time.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Arcia's doing a really good job defensively. He's always been really good defensively, but then you look at he's starting to swing the bat a little bit better. And Sogard just a grinder out there. Then Travis Shaw, what he did last season, and you know, Bronny playing a little first, and you know, Thames there. We got so many guys that have you know, contributed to this team and get us to this point. So I'm just thankful to be a part of this team.
Well, Chase, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on the opening day assignment. We look forward to watching you all season long.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on.
All right, opening day starter Chase Anderson joining us here in the 7th inning. No RBI, but on the double play ball. Nador scores. Double play ball off the bat of Manny Pena. So 2 men out. Brett Phillips at the plate.
Yeah, you could just tell the way he was you know, attacking hitters today. It wasn't, you know, working on a certain pitch, maybe working on a changeup. It looked like he was pitching like he would in San Diego on opening day. Just had that different look to him, just a different feel with the way he was pitching today.
Remember the exhibition game at Miller Park, there was the, you know, all the talk about the increased velocity on the fastball, up, you know, a tick or so with Chase Anderson, and it's, you know, it's the rest of the portfolio that helps him. But well, you could even notice that they had an exhibition game with the White Sox, and I remember being at the ballpark that day. It was like, whoa, okay, yeah, that's real. 0-1 the count to Brett Phillips. Maverick, known as.
Man, he needs a base hit for his own peace of mind.
We talk a lot in spring training. We hear a lot about it. It's, you know, you want to get yourself into a groove, and that it's true. But for a young player, I would think, Rock, you need some knocks.
Yeah.
you need to have some results here.
Approach is one thing. You just need some hits every now and again.
1-2 pitch, and goes after one. Down and in. He's out on strikes, and that'll do it for the Brewers. They pick up a run. We move to the 8th. This afternoon. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. Giovanni Gallardo. Get some turns out of the bullpen. That's the plan the rest of spring training. Gets a call here in the 8th.
Yeah, 6th appearance. He had made 1 start. He's given up 6 runs in 10 innings. You can see what Giovanni did a year ago. 28 appearances, 22 starts coming with the Orioles. A non-roster invite to spring training. His chance to make the team is out of the bullpen.
The all-time strikeout leader in this Brewers franchise, and Will Smith in his first plate appearance of the day, the catcher. Nate Orff playing third, Nick Franklin at second, Weston Wilson at first, Christian Bethancourt, as you see there now behind the plate. Changes here for the Brew Crew. Brewers today released Ernesto Frieri. Saw him in the 9th yesterday. Just had trouble with his command.
He just couldn't seem to get that slider working for him, and that's a big pitch for him. He's still throwing. He got decent velocity, but just couldn't throw enough strikes. Had trouble walking batters. Yeah, Frieri had 9 walks and 9 strikeouts down here.
All 2 strikes to Will Smith. Getting close to crunch time here now. And decisions will be made in the coming days here and throughout baseball. The 1-2.
Curveball there had some bite. That was his big pitch when he was at the top of his game. He made a number of opening day starts for the Brewers. Fastball, curveball, cutter.
Smith hits that on the button and out toward left field where Troy Stokes runs it down for out number 1.
Hey, Giovanni said, I got a man there. No problem.
17-game winner was Giovanni Gallardo in the division-winning year of 2011. A veteran presence here in camp. This ball club.
Not a guy that does a lot of talking, but he's got a great sense of humor. If you ever get to know him, being on the road with him many years, he's one of those one-liner guys that gets guys laughing. You know, those kind of guys, you know, you have your joke tellers and different kinds of sense of humor. He just has a way about him.
You're a good joke teller. Good sense of humor. And
I'm not a big joke teller. I just
one-liners.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that. I'm like Yo, but I talk a lot more than he does.
Kyle Garlick goes down swinging. 2 up, 2 down here for Giovanni Gallardo in the eighth inning.
You're more the dry sense of humor kind of guy. You got to pay attention to your humor.
Is that a way of telling me I'm not very funny?
No, you are funny.
I got you. All right.
You know, it's a cerebral type of humor.
Well, I've been referred to in many ways cerebral.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Maybe it's just me.
You know, but I appreciate that.
I have to concentrate, you know, more than the average guy. Mine has a tendency to wander real easy.
I just figure I have to, you know, keep you as sharp as possible until BA comes back. That was a good 2 or 3 inning tease. We're trying to figure out the next stop on the tournament trail for Brian Anderson. Is Jock Peterson the hitter now with 2 outs and the base is empty.
He keeps that stuff pretty close to the vest. I mean, he doesn't tell anybody until he's actually at the airport.
Yeah. It's that ever popular need to know basis. So apparently we don't need to know. He was in Boise, had some really good games, great work.
Yeah.
Working with Chris Webber.
Here for the next couple of months. Rest assured, he is a Brewer broadcaster through and through.
Oh, yeah.
All summer long.
Yeah, loves doing Brewer games. We have a full complement of broadcasters in San Diego. You, B.A.B., Gary Augustine, Sophia. And I think Craig's coming down.
Is that right?
They're doing pre and post from the site.
Terrific.
I have it covered.
Can't wait. Peterson looking away from the shift. Self a 2-out single. Piece of hitting for Jock Peterson. A 2-hit afternoon for the LA outfielder.
Yeah. Playing the defense to his strength, and he goes against. He's not a guy that's going to do that very often, so you really can't defend him thinking he's going to hit a ball in that direction. He's more of a pull hitter. And he finally left the fastball up out over the plate. He hit it hard into left field.
There is Angelo Mora. Dodgers with 6 hits here this afternoon. Mora goes the other way. Stokes has tracked. And that'll do it. Good inning for Giovanni Gallardo. A harmless single is all he allows. To the bottom of the eighth we go. Brewers keep 7-3.
It's back. And
at Maryvale Baseball Park. 7,178 on hand here today. Good crowds over the weekend. More than 14,000 combined yesterday and today. It's fun. Second inning of work for Zach Neal. Gave up a run in the 7th inning. And Nick Franklin getting his first at-bat today.
Another guy having a good spring.
Hey, 11 for 30 is Franklin. Given in 9 runs. A couple of long balls for Franklin.
And he can play anywhere. He's been playing the outfield. Oh, that one went into the David Stearns box up here in the press box. I think Matt Arnold took a dive. Is he up yet? Brewers assistant general manager. It was in his chair. I don't see him anymore.
Trying to look cool. Fly ball out to center field. And that'll be out number 1.
Everybody all right? I don't see Matty. Is he still down there?
Well, they're smiling, so I'll make the reckless assumption that he's okay. That really might be reckless.
I saw that in real time, and I'm not sure he's going after the baseball or getting out of the way, but the chair went over.
The story is it'll be a dive, diving for it.
Trying to protect everybody in that in that booth.
I think I was diving last year at Miller Park. The game, I think it was last May, one came whistling into our booth. Remember that?
Yeah. I mean, when you can hear him coming in, you get out of the way.
Get out of the way. No glove. I had no glove.
Sometimes they're have some air under them. You can maybe make a half-hearted attempt at catching it, but those foul balls that are coming in that had kind of has the sizzle on it, out of the way.
Yeah, I didn't even bother to false hustle. I was just diving right behind Mike Faulkner, our statistician. Behind you all the way, Mike. But yeah, as you say, when it's coming in hot like that, no, don't try to be an all-star.
They hurt,
I know. Know who you are, or know who you're not. Ball 2 strikes to Weston Wilson. 1 out, bases empty in the 8th inning. Castanheira is on deck.
I think that booth is completely empty right now.
With a fly ball out to center. And that's the 2nd out of the inning. DJ Peters handling things out there. Well, this he's ready for one more. He's the only one left in that booth.
There's Matt. He's all right. In the back. Yep.
Got you covered, Matt.
Not limping.
You're diving for
all
it.
Good.
Second at bat for Castanheira. He's singled in the 6th inning. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Brewers. Good day's work for Christian Yelich. Couple of hits, drove in 3. Solo homer from Yelich. Brewers doing a lot of damage early. 2 in the 1st, big 3-run 4th inning.
Yeah, really a good day all around. I mean, defense was good. Pitching's been exceptional. I think you could say that about the Brewers pitching for the most part, give or take maybe a game or 2.
And another base hit for Castanheira. Continues to swing a very good bat here in Arizona. 2 for 2 today.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, fastball up, his 2nd hit, 1 to left, now 1 to center. Look at the balance for that young man. I mean, he's standing tall in that batter's box, that high leg kick, and it's perfect balance. The important thing about that high leg kick is you got to make sure that front foot is down before you start your swing.
He's the best hitter in the college ranks. Putting in some pretty good work very early in his pro career. Christian Bethancourt, pretty well documented now. The Padres tried him on the mound. Actually had a couple of appearances in 2016 as well. But receiving again at behind the plate.
He does have a cannon behind home plate. Just a matter of whether he's going to hit enough to stay in the big leagues.
2 strikes and nothing. Zach Neal trying to finish off the Brew Crew in the 8th. Hero the runner at first. And the 1-2. Little chopper over to third. Christian Santana over to second for the force. And that'll do it for the Crew in the 8th. Move to the 9th inning at Maryvale Baseball Park. Brewers looking to close this one out. Nice sunny day, mid-60s out here in the Phoenix area. Good day to catch a little Cactus League action as Oliver Drake looking to finish this one off here this afternoon.
Yeah, 64 appearances between Milwaukee and Baltimore last year. Did a nice job with the Brewers. 3-5, 466 between the two ball clubs. Bit of a struggle for him down here. 9th appearance for Oliver. Got a 614 earned run average, giving up 5 earned runs in 7 1/3 innings.
DJ Peters will lead things off. Quickly, Drake with the jump.
Split-fingered fastball right there. Good one.
Have a little screwball type action to it. 2-strike pitch. This is when it can be a tough time for those without of options, and Drake is one of those. He came in and helped the ball club last year, make no mistake, and a good start for his Sunday afternoon as he strikes out Peters for the first out of the 9th.
Yep, high fastball had Peters looking at that split. Fastball up, pulls his head and swings right through it.
Oliver Drake, one of those with no minor league options remaining. Jesus Aguilar, another. Alex Verdugo, the hitter.
Which means he either makes the 40-man or the 25-man roster, or he becomes a free agent. Any team can pick him up at that point.
That's where it's really easy to say you try to control the controllables. That's easy to say when you're talking about someone else.
Right.
That's
going to be a tough call. I mean, for Drake and especially, I think, for Aguilar. He is so valuable. But with the way Braun's been playing so much first base, you got Thames. Is there a spot?
Interesting days ahead as we get closer and closer to the opening of the season.
It will come down as far as Aguilar is concerned, is whether the Brewers start the season with 5 guys on their bench or 4. Gotta believe in the beginning of the season, I think they're going to start with 5. 4 starters, pitchers, 8 relievers.
Alex Verdugo with a fly ball toward the line and left. Long run, Troy Stokes, no problem. 2 up, 2 down in the 9th.
Yeah, good job. They had him shade a little bit toward the line. Stokes with good speed, able to make the catch. Just in foul ground.
Gavin Lux will now pinch hit. Oliver Drake looking for a nice, clean 9th inning. He delivers a strike. Lux, A-ball last year. '20-year-old. First-round draft pick out of Kenosha, Wisconsin.
All right.
And a soft liner, and that will wrap it up as Nick Franklin will squeeze it. A 3 up, 3 down 9th inning for Oliver Drake as the Brewers get their 16th win here in the Cactus League. Good work day again all the way around for the Brew Crew. 7-3 your final score. Rock and I are back in Maryvale right after this on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Brewers Spring Training Baseball is brought to you by Ascension. Coming together